Big Pharma, growing a big heart. It's like the end of the Grinch who stole Christmas. So another company has decided on its own volition to lower the price of insulin to $35 a vial. We'll get into why that's not actually that low. But Novo Nordisk says that it's gonna slash their prices of insulin pens and vials up to 75%. Again, this is following on the heels of Eli Lilly, that insulin maker's announcement that they also are lowering their vials to $35 a pop. However, they're not necessarily reducing the overall out-of-pocket expenses. So this is really important to understand as we go forward with the story. $35 is not the same $35 that Joe Biden has proposed would be the monthly cap on insulin for Medicare recipients. This $35 is $35 a vial. Now, people with diabetes and who need insulin, they're going through multiple vials a month, right? I mean, you guys can chime in, but from what I've been looking at, it's like 6 to 10 vials. It all depends on the severity, the type of diabetes, et cetera, what you've been given. So just keep that in mind. But after the reductions, Novo Nordisk, Novolog, and Novolog Mix 70/30 will cost just $72.34 a vial, and $139.71 per flex pen. Also, the company is lowering the list price of Levemir and Novolin by 65% to $107 per vial and $161 per flex pen for Levemir, and to $48 per vial and $91 per flex pen of Novolin. So these are all different kinds of insulin meds and pens and whatnot. Now, again, I said the $35, that doesn't apply here, right? They're still like up to $70 a vial. And I know what you guys are thinking. If it's 75% that they've slashed by, holy crap, people were paying, upwards of $200 or more. But okay, so Novo Nordisk's move comes 2 weeks after Eli Lilly announced a series of price cuts that would lower the price of most commonly used forms of insulin by 70%. Eli Lilly also said it will automatically cap out-of-pocket insulin costs at $35 who have private insurance and use participating pharmacies, as well as expand its Insulin Value Program, which caps out-of-pocket costs as $35 or less per month for people who are uninsured. So Jayar, I'm just lost in the space-time continuum of our private and health insurance programs, big pharma and all this, because basically, if you do buy your healthcare on the marketplace and you have that, this doesn't apply to you, right? There's all kinds of reasons why people are gonna still be paying more than $35 per vial. And of course, as we saw with Novo Nordisk, they're not going down to 35. They're going down to 72.
The headlines when it comes to benefiting these folks and the things that have happened will be like, oh, look, it's capped at $35, as you point out. But then again, what are the details of that? Because we don't read past headlines, then we go to the details, and it's more than just Eli Lilly, first of all. But then again, how about that $35? Because we've come to accept in our kidnapping that we should then even be paying $35 again for something that was already developed. Taxpayer funded. I think I'm on the right medication here. Taxpayer funded. So you've already paid for this.
Yeah.
But still, afterwards you pay $35 more because they've now lowered it because they care, and that's going to be the general energy and characteristics behind this. But if $35 is so low, why are you still charging $35? Why isn't it zero? Hey, huge corporation worth billions of dollars. Why is $35 so important to you? But then it's supposed to not be so important to me. And I'm supposed to be ashamed to say, yo, $35 is too much. And if you lower it to $5, if I say, $5 is too effing much. I'm a cheapskate. Maybe I'm the person who's trying to get by on the system, but who never gets that characteristic? The billion-dollar company who's still charging $35, not on a capped version for the month, but per vial. And then other companies who charge much more for other things.
Yes.
For some reason that characterization never comes to them. It only comes to the consumers. Yes, we should be very stingy. We should be talking about how, that's still too much. I've already paid for it. If you've already paid for something, do you feel good going back and paying for it again, especially since you need it absolutely for your health?
You paid into it, and exactly right. So this is, a lot of this seems to be preempting the fact that Joe Biden, under the Inflation Reduction Act, has passed that in 2024, so not yet, no one on Medicare will be paying more than $35 a month for insulin, right? But it also comes from, it seems, overcharging for insulin in the past. So in Eli Lilly's case, they were being required by Medicaid to reimburse state programs after having gouged them for their vials of insulin. And this move to lower the price by their own volition, that move actually is gonna save them some money. So this is from Politico, but it's been reported multiple places. State Medicaid programs would have generated about $150 in revenue for every vial of Humalog they purchased had Eli Lilly, the pharma company, had not capped its prices. About $140 million in revenue nationally, based on calculations by Sean Dixon, a drug pricing expert at the nonprofit West Health Policy Center. So effectively, they preempted what they needed to pay back to these state Medicaid programs because they've effectively swindled them out of money by overcharging them for insulin. And so now by lowering it, they can skirt the penalties that they would have already had to pay.
They're so magnanimous. They care about you and your health. That's the reasons why they do these things.
Okay, yeah, and let's just jump down before we take this break to graphic 7. I just want everyone to know, a Yale University study published in July 2022 found that 14% of insulin users are spending at least 40% of their income after food and housing costs on insulin. A 2021 study found rationing behaviors to be common among a sample of 982 people with diabetes, with 16.5% reporting they often skipped doses, took less insulin than required, or delayed purchases to save money. The United States spends more money on insulin than any other nation in the world. We pay more for that drug, that necessary drug that again was sold for $1. It was $1 back when the Canadian researchers actually discovered it, I believe.
This is the result of capitalism, you guys.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.